No, Jasmine, you will be more comfortable. You can sit with her. Hello all. Welcome to Center for Science Education and Communication of Savitribai Phule Pune University. We are coming live with the topic Hobbies in Minerals. We will have Mr. Sami Makki, who is Vice President of Matrix India Minerals. He is expert in mining, collecting minerals, specimens, writing articles about minerals in magazines, participating in mineral and fossil exhibitions in many countries like US, Germany, China, France. He arranges many exhibitions in India also. And he loves to talk to children on the collection of minerals and what are those things. So we have Mr. Sami Makki here. So he is going to show us many fossils, minerals, rocks, and how to identify that. Welcome, Mr. Makki.
Hello, welcome. Thank you.
So we have our audience here. So let us see, let us go ahead. I am also curious to know about these rocks. For me, these are just kind of rocks, but I think the beauty of those rocks is different. It's really natural.
Yes. Well, firstly, I would like to welcome everybody who has joined into this show about geology and rocks and minerals. And this is a very interesting topic. And I would like to welcome all of you to our place in Pune. The name of this place is Makki Park, and it's a geoscience park. And basically, we have a lot of minerals, and this shows our activities that are there. So we'd like to welcome you.
Oh, can you see so big rocks? So let us go ahead. Yeah.
So we are going to start with minerals and crystals closest to us. So as you all know that there are basically three of rock is igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. So where we are at present, going live from, I don't know if this show is pan India or it's Maharashtra only. Of course, it is on the internet, so it's a global show to see. But currently, we are live from Pune, Maharashtra, India. So most of the strata here is volcanic, which means that most of it is basalt. And the beauties that are formed in the basalt are the zeolite crystals. So I would like to show you up close.
Oh, these are zeolites. But sir, what are zeolites?
Basically, zeolites are calcium aluminum silicates.
Okay.
That's the chemical composition, and the name zeolites is a Greek term, which basically means boiling stones.
Oh.
So the name was given to these crystals in Greek terminology. Zeolite basically means boiling stones, and the name that is given is mainly due to the fact as to how they are formed. That's why the name was given as boiling stones. So that I will explain to you next.
Okay.
So as all you students must be knowing that Maharashtra, if you look at the strata, before I continue, ma'am, is English fine, or do you want me to make this a sublingual English, Hindi, Marathi mix? How would you prefer it?
Mix will be fine, no problem.
Okay. So as everybody knows that in Maharashtra, most of wherever you will see black rocks. Whenever you see in a mountain, or whenever you see somebody digging something or any excavation, you will see a black kind of a rock. This black rock is called basalt. which is spelled as B-A-S-A-L-T, basalt. So the basalt rock is predominant in Maharashtra. The reason was millions of years ago, in this area, there was a lot of volcanic activity. So by volcanic activity, what I mean to say is that there were a lot of volcanoes and fissures through which lava was flowing. And basically that's what makes up most of Maharashtra, which is basaltic region. Maharashtra is also called the Deccan Plateau, and it's also known as the Deccan Traps. The reason why it's called Deccan Traps is because existence of something known as trap rock. During the flow of the basalts, during the flow of the lava, wherever the lava went over a certain rock or a cascade or the side of a mountain. For example, if all our students can imagine that lava is flowing from this hill here and it's coming, and you know that lava flows very slowly. The lava flow is very slow. It's not rapid. It does not flow like water. So it's extremely slow. So when the lava comes and flows and goes over to another rock, it cascades like this and it keeps flowing down. Now, once it has gone over this portion, it starts to cool down. It starts to solidify, and the red molten lava turns into basalt stone. Now, when this has gone over this part, and inside there is a cavity or a capsule which is formed, which is also known as a geode. Just like how you have an egg, that inside the egg yolk and the yellow is safe, and outside is the shell. So similarly, when the lava flowed over such obstacles, and there was a cavity or a bubble which remained inside, and due to the presence of different kind of gases, salts, moisture, etc., and other chemical elements, and the extreme heat, when the lava flowed over this turned into an oven. So you can imagine putting something closed in an oven, and due to that heat, extreme heat and pressure and temperature, these crystals were formed.
Oh, so nice.
So these crystals grew inside this geode. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you how this geode is. That's my hand for reference. You can see all these crystals. So primarily the name of these crystals is apophyllite.
Okay.
A-P-O-P-H-Y-L-L-I-T-E, apophyllite.
Okay.
So apophyllite is a zeolite mineral. So zeolite is the family name of this variety of crystals found in Maharashtra, found in the basalts. They are called zeolites. And under zeolites, then we have different minerals based on their color and their crystal structure and their luster and shape. So here we have another mineral. This is called heulandite. Heulandite, H-E-U-L-A-N-D-I-T-E, heulandite. So sometimes, or most of the times, within a pocket or a geode. So this is a geode, like I told you. Just how I explained to you that the lava flowed and a capsule was made and the geode was made. So on the sides, if you look at it, it's all the black rock, the black basalt, which we have carved.
Oh.
So we have carved this in a quarry on the side of a mountain. And we have carved it out and brought it out completely out of the nature for everybody to see and enjoy. So in this one particular geode, you have 4 minerals, mainly apophyllite, heulandite, stilbite, S-T-I-L-B-I-T-E, stilbite, and here calcite.
Oh, calcite.
C-A-L-C-I-T-E, calcite. So you know that the chemical composition of each of these minerals is different.
Right.
So calcite is CaCO3, apophyllite is A different chemical composition, stilbite, but generally they are all calcium aluminum silicates. So this is from the silicates group. So moving on, we have another geode. This is another geode of apophyllite and stilbite. So you can see I'm going to put the phone inside the cavity. So this is a cavity. It's just like when we find this, it's like finding a treasure. Just that it's not diamonds, but it's crystals. And for somebody who appreciates nature and likes geosciences and geology and nature, this is as good as finding diamonds.
Oh, diamonds.
So next up we have,
which
yes,
is
go
this
ahead.
one?
This is Himalayan quartz, which is crystalline quartz. The chemical composition is SiO2, quartz.
Is it different from general term quartz and Himalayan quartz?
Well, yes, because generally quartz is a very wide range of minerals and crystal shapes. You can have crystalline quartz, you can have microcrystalline quartz. The Himalayan quartz, the reason, I mean, Himalayan is just added, which is the province where it is found. So it is the locality is always added to the minerals because quartz is one of the most common minerals in the world, and it's almost found in every country and almost every other strata. So when you say Himalayan quartz or you say Swiss quartz or African quartz, so you know basically where it has come from, and you know that it is quartz.
Right.
So this is mined at about 14,000 feet above sea level in the Indian Himalayas. And the children and our students, they must be aware of the fact that the Indian Himalayas was actually a part of the Tethys Sea, and it was pushed ahead due to in the continental drift. The Tethys Sea was pushed up, and that's how the Himalayas were formed. So the Himalayas are the Indian Himalayas are a product of tectonics, of plate movements across the globe.
Right. Our children must be aware of that basic thing, I think so.
Yes.
And this is like fascinating for them.
Yes. So next up, so now we looked at Himalayan quartz. Now we look at Brazilian quartz. This quartz is from Brazil, and this variety is called smoky quartz.
But this is totally different. That is complete white.
So you can see the size.
Yeah.
Yes. And look at the size of this crystal. Each of these crystals is as big as my head. And these crystals are as small as my finger. So see how nature is, that in one instance you will have crystals that are so small and tiny, and then you will have giant crystals as well. And nature always amazes us and shows us different things, how they are formed.
Right. Oh, this is purple. What is this?
So next up is amethyst.
Okay.
AMETHYST. Amethyst.
Okay.
If you want to note it down or take a screenshot. So this is also a common mineral.
So beautiful.
So this is basically, again, it's a quartz variety.
Okay.
And you saw quartz variety in white. You saw smoky quartz, which is black and gray. And now you will see blue, which is known as amethyst.
Okay. So beautiful it is.
Yes. So this is also found all over the world, but mainly in Brazil, you get large size crystals. This is also found in India, but it's found in a smaller size. The crystals are of a small size.
In which region of India this is found?
You find this in Maharashtra, you find it in Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
You also find it in South India.
Okay.
So this is also, if you look at this is also a geode.
Okay. From the other side, we can guess that.
Yeah, this is also a geode. Next up, we have a cavity of we have a plate of apophyllite and stilbite.
Okay. What is that?
And this is, again, it's a zeolite, just
Uh-huh.
like the zeolites that I showed you, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
large plate. I will show you the size by demonstrating. I'll have my associate
Oh,
stand next to it and show you. So that is the size. If you are seeing this on a computer screen or a mobile
yeah.
screen or a TV screen, you cannot understand the size that I'm talking about. But when a
Yes.
person is standing next to it, you can see the size of these stones. So
Wow.
even the amethyst here, it stands about 2.5 feet tall. The smoky quartz that we showed you over there. So
Yes.
these are all extra large specimens. So we
Mm-hmm.
have started with extra large specimens, and then we'll move on to the smaller and different varieties of specimens. So this is tabular apophyllite. So I showed you apophyllite that was pointed, and this is tabular, which means that the crystal shape is flat terminated. It does not have any pointed terminations.
Okay.
So
So is it like it is
apophylites and
growing like,
zeolites,
okay. So is it like it is growing
yes,
in the form of tubular structure?
yes, that's the
Okay.
reason why this has got a different kind of crystal form as opposed
Okay.
to the other. And here it is intermingled with stilbite. So you can see
Okay.
that two minerals have merged into each
Mm-hmm.
other, and
Right, right.
so this is a fine example of apophyllite and stilbite.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, I want to show calcite.
Oh, calcite is CaCO3, right?
Yes, CaCO3, and this is a gigantic specimen of calcite. It's
Oh.
commonly referred to as honey yellow calcite, and you can see the cleavages. One of the property of calcite is that it cleaves
Mm-hmm.
at a certain angle, so you can see the cleavages on this crystal here.
Yes, yes, I can see. Wow.
And next up, I'll show you a large specimen
It's
of,
so huge.
yes, apophyllite and stilbite. This is a large geode of apophyllite and stilbite.
Oh.
So this is a complete cavity. It's as big as a bathtub. It's about 5.5 feet. It's about 5.5 feet wide. And my associate will stand next to it just to show you the size.
Oh my
There
God.
you can see. So this is the same kind of geode that I was talking about when I said earlier that due to the lava flow, it goes over and then there is a cavity that is formed. And now we are going to take the camera inside the cavity so that the students can experience how the crystals are formed inside the geode.
Wow. It is looking like valley from here.
Yes, absolutely.
Basically, one of our student is asking Sai Prakash
Yes,
that how to
yes.
identify different types of rocks.
Okay, so
Since you
see,
have showed us various types, so I also had
yes,
this question in mind.
yes. So see, rocks basically is a very loose term for minerals or crystals because a
Right.
lot of things come under just calling it rocks. If you
Uh-huh.
say basically all of these are referred to as crystalline specimens or mineral specimens,
Mm-hmm.
and under mineral we have the category of crystal. So the identification is based on the shape of the crystal, which is the crystallography,
Mm-hmm.
the size, the color, and the luster.
So is it
So
like
these are a few.
crystallography is one of the branch of science we can say, and if we get few things, basics of those things, and
Yes,
we can at least identify these rocks or
absolutely,
minerals.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Now, for example, both of these are zeolites.
Mm-hmm.
This is a stalactite, but you see the structure how it is. It looks like a bone or a bow tie. So
Yeah.
this is called a bow tie stilbite, and
Okay.
this is an apophyllite.
Okay.
So they belong to the same family, but identification is due to the color,
Yes.
the shape of the crystal, and the luster and other properties.
Okay.
So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Right.
So next up, I'm going to take you inside the treasure trove, as we call
Oh,
it.
really, really. I can see so many things here.
So I'm going to pause here and let our users and viewers see the things
Right.
around here.
That will be great.
I will be freezing this short for some time. So this is a assortment of minerals and crystals from all over the world.
Hmm.
Now you can, in your screens, you can see the different colors that are here, the different shapes that are here, the different forms that are here.
Is this purple one same as you have shown just sometime
Yes,
before?
yes, the purple one.
Okay.
The purple one is amethyst. So I
Okay.
will start from here. So first up, sorry. So let's start with something unique.
Oh, which is
This is
this one?
a very unique mineral. As
Okay.
you can see, it has a golden shine
Hmm.
and it looks golden and it is sparkly and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
So the name of this mineral is called iron pyrite.
Okay, iron pyrite.
Yes,
Super.
which is commonly known as fool's gold,
Okay.
because in the old and ancient times, whenever it was found, people had fights over this, thinking that they found gold.
Uh-huh.
And when they brought it to an expert, he said, no, this is just stone. So that's why they made a fool out of themselves. So
Okay,
that is
that's
why this
why.
is commonly known as fool's gold. So that
Now
is
I
iron
understood.
pyrite, and this is from Peru.
Okay.
Yes, and the crystal structure is cubic. You can see the
Okay.
crystals are all cubic. So the crystal structure of pyrite is cubic in nature.
Okay. These are looking like clouds.
Now here we have another specimen of calcite on mordanite. This is a zeolite, and this is from Ahmednagar in Maharashtra.
Oh, so nearby, but we were not aware about this.
Yes, yes. No, I'll come very, very, very close to where we are also. Here,
Okay.
this is a specimen of stilbite
Uh-huh.
and green apophyllite, hulendite. Again, three minerals, just like I told you. All are
Mm-hmm.
zeolites, and
Mm-hmm.
this is from Lonavala.
Oh,
Then over here, this is green apophyllite. This is
yeah.
apophyllite, but in a green color, green apophyllite, and it's on a large matrix of basalt.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from your very own Pune city.
Oh, is it? Where in
Yes,
Pune?
yeah, this is from the highway construction. When they were
Oh,
expanding the highway
yeah.
in Pasan and Baner areas,
Yeah.
on both sides of the road, there was construction activity, and there
Uh-huh.
this specimen was found.
Okay.
Coming up next, we have,
Bas yeah.
yes, go ahead, man.
Yeah. Actually, the question is, how do you identify minerals uh, from just by looking at them or from rocks? How to differentiate them?
Well, basically, you must have at least a little bit of knowledge of geology,
Uh-huh.
and you must have at least the basic knowledge of geology. And
Mm-hmm.
it all comes through, for our students, it will all come through reading and going out on field trips and excursions and picking
Okay.
up different stones And then now with the help of the internet, you can also identify it, that what is the color, what is the structure. So for self-learning, this is what I suggest.
Okay.
And you can also read some online manuals about basic geology and educate yourselves about this in the school level.
Okay.
And then of course in the next level, you can also, when you graduate and you go into your colleges, you can take up geology as a subject and take your study further.
Oh, which is this one? Yellowish. It is looking like gold.
Yes, this is citrine. Citrine,
Okay.
citrine, citrine. So this is also the chemical composition again is SiO2. It is a quartz, but it is this yellowish color, and it's known as citrine. So now we have seen 4 different colors of quartz.
Yeah, right.
This is another Himalayan quartz with a huge crystal. I showed you some that were this size. Now look at this. Look at the size of this crystal. It's a gigantic crystal of Himalayan quartz. Yes.
Okay.
Then next up we have another giant calcite specimen.
Oh, calcite. What is its important? Why is it so?
Well, the calcite firstly has a property of double refraction. For everybody that knows that it has a property of.
Sir, it is mute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's used in a lot of it has a lot of chemical uses as well, because it's a form of calcium carbonate, CaCO3. And industrially, these minerals are not just for display. A lot of minerals have industrial uses as well. In fact, everything around us has minerals. The smartphones that we are using, the toothpaste that we are using, everything is composed of minerals in some way or the other. So this aspect of geology is mainly the visual aspect of geology, which means that we are collecting minerals and crystals here, which are very visually appealing, and they have value because of their aesthetics and visual appearances. Now I have a piece of calcite here. I hope it is clear. Everybody can see it's a clear calcite.
Yeah,
and
it's looking like
as I was
glass.
telling, as I was telling you, a property of double refraction, you can see my finger, you'll be able to see two fingers.
Two fingers.
Right?
Yeah.
And now I am going to demonstrate it to you by putting it on a line. And when I turn it, when I rotate it, now you can see that it is a single line.
Yes.
And when I change the axis by rotation, you can see that we can see 2 different lines. So basically what is happening is it is refracting.
Okay. Is it double refraction?
Yes, it has a property of double refraction. Now once you keep rotating it and it on a different axis, now it's
again
coming
at the
back
same
to the
position.
Same position, exactly. So this is one of the main identification and properties of calcite.
Wow.
Next up, this is another zeolite. It's called prehnite, and it's from Malad in Mumbai.
Oh, in Mumbai we get such nice crystal?
Yes, at a certain point of time, Malad and Kandli, all the areas were outside of Mumbai, and there used to be quarries there, which used to produce the black basalt for construction purposes. This kind of materials used to be found.
Wow.
Next up, something other than minerals and crystals, I'll show you. This is an abalone shell.
Oh.
So this is a real shell, and you see the colors. These are all natural colors.
Beauty.
And this is found in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh.
Next up, I'll show you. This is a single quartz crystal. I showed you some small quartz crystals. This is a single quartz crystal, and see the clarity. It's like glass.
Yes. So can there be
So,
option to glass?
well, this is quartz. SiO2 is basically used. It's silica, so it's
Mm-hmm.
used in making a lot of glass as well.
Okay.
Yes. Next up, we'll move to some fossils.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an ammonite fossil.
Wow.
This is a creature that lived hundreds of millions of years ago. One of the first creatures on the planet. You know that Earth was mostly, it was ocean. It was all of water. So
Yeah,
these
right.
were one of the first creatures on our planet. So this is called ammonite, and now it is
Okay.
a fossil. So this we have polished to show you the characteristics. But here, this is how it is found in nature.
Oh.
So you can call it the great ancestor of our snail.
Ah, now I got the point.
So these are all ribs, and
Mm-hmm.
this was a aquatic creature
Mm-hmm.
which lived in the depths of the ocean. And then when there was some kind of event during which this creature died and then fell down on the bed of the ocean, and
Mm-hmm.
it got covered by sand and basically got fossilized. So all our
Okay.
students know what fossils are.
Yeah.
So this is a real fossil of a ammonite.
Hmm. Here, actually, one of our student wishes to know how do
Yes.
you find the age of the rock
Well, the
or
well,
such kind of fossils?
yes. So, well, the age of the rock basically depends on where, on the age of a, let's say the age of a mineral or a crystal basically depends on where it was found, in which strata.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, in Maharashtra, our strata is about 65 million years old. That means the basalt here has been
Mm-hmm.
dated to about 65 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so we know that these crystals, like the one found in Malad and Pune and every place, these are about 65 million years old. Then, when you look at fossils, so in paleontology, there is a complete timeline and structure of which fossils existed when, from the beginning of time, and there are different eras like Jurassic, Triassic, Paleozoic. So there are different time scales and eras where certain creatures existed. So that
Okay.
study has already been done in paleontology. So when you find
Okay.
a specimen like this, an ammonite or a different kind of fossil, from that you know that it belonged to that era, and that's how old it was.
Okay. Is
I
there any
hope that answers the question.
Yes, yes, yes. And is there any particular region or environmental site where greater amount of minerals are found?
Well, there are concentrations. Yes, Maharashtra is one of those places where the zeolites are concentrated, which means
Okay.
they are found a lot, and their occurrence is also sporadic, which means that once you find, suppose you find this in the ground, you will not find 1 kilometer of only this mineral. You will find a little bit here, then a little bit at a distance, then maybe a little bit far away. So they are
Mhm.
spread out like that. So they were basically like how I explained to you that they were gas bubbles, which later turned into geodes and cavities, how the minerals were formed. So they are
Mhm.
far away. And some minerals and some stones, they are found in a place known as veins. So just like how you have the veins in your body which run along your hand, so like that, the mineral runs in the ground, which basically means that there is a lot of mineralized deposit in one area.
Mhm.
So those are concentrated deposits.
Okay.
So I will show you an example of that as well. Coming up next, the last specimen on this table I want to show you is
Mhm.
pearl inside clam. So this is a clam shell. This is a natural clam shell, and this is how the pearls are found inside the clam. So you know
Uh,
that when the, yes, ma'am.
you use the word clamshell. So we
Yes.
usually know only the word shell. So what is that specific word mean?
Well, clamshell is basically that it is this particular species which
Mm-hmm.
produces the pearl, which is also commonly known as the oyster,
Okay.
is a clam shell. So on both sides, you know that the shell opens up, so it's commonly known as a clam shell.
Okay.
So as all our students are aware that how this the pearls are formed is that when the creature that is living inside the shell, it opens its mouth, it opens the shell up for taking in water, and in the water there are planktons and other small organisms which it eats. So when it's in the bottom of the ocean and it opens its mouth, sometimes the grains of the ocean also come inside the clam, and because the animal that is inside gets irritated with the grain of the sand, so it keeps secreting its saliva on top of the grain of the sand, and it wants to spit it out. But the saliva is actually pearl, what you see here. Mother of pearl is on the sides here, and the small speck of grain of sand is coated with its saliva, which it wants to spit out, which is irritating it. But eventually, sometimes there is so many grains of sand that the grain of sand becomes so big with its saliva, which solidifies, and the creature eventually dies because of it.
Oh.
And it leaves us beautiful pearls in nature.
Wow.
So that's an interesting story connected and mineralogy and nature. So next up, I'm going to show you, this is how the fossils are formed and they're found. One time this was in the ocean, but all of that has turned into stone. So you can see an ammonite here,
Yes.
another
Yes.
ammonite here, and this is the mother rock, which is limestone.
Oh.
So that's how they are found, and then we have to expose them. So we use certain tools and bring them out of the rock to show features and how the creature lived.
Amazing.
So I'm going to show some more minerals here, some more colorful minerals. So these are some more zeolites, green apophyllite. We have some quartz, some more quartz. And here is something very interesting. I showed you a snail fossil. Now I would like a plant fossil. So you see this. This is a leaf of a plant. It's known as Glossoteris.
Okay.
And this is found in jungles. So this is a leaf fossil, just like how the creature was squeezed between layers of rocks and turned into a fossil. This leaf also fell down and turned into a fossil. So I'm going to try and zoom in here so you can see the features of this leaf.
Sir, actually, it has got freeze little bit.
It has frozen. Okay, I'll come in
Yeah.
the network zone.
Yeah, please. Yes. Now
How is
it's
this now?
visible. Yeah, this is okay.
Okay. Now this is a fish fossil.
Oh.
You see, this is a lived millions of years ago. Maybe I would say about 250 million years ago. You see that the features are preserved, and the scale of the fish is also preserved, and the bones are preserved.
Okay.
So this is a fossilized fish, and this is from Lebanon.
Okay.
In the Middle East. So next up, I want to show one of the last exhibits of this online meeting. There are several stones here, so I'll try to make it as fast and quick as possible, and I hope everybody can follow.
Yes,
So this
no
right now we have one stone here. This is called Septarian agate, and this is from Madagascar.
Oh.
So this is a form of agate, which is also a mineral.
Okay.
Second, we have lepidolite here from Russia.
Oh.
If you can see the purple color of this, this is lepidolite, and it's from Russia, spelled Lepidolite.
Okay.
Next up, very on, we have our ruby. This is ruby in matrix. So this is from Odisha. And one important feature about ruby is that it is a fluorescent mineral.
Oh.
I hope everybody knows what a fluorescent mineral is. So it fluoresces under ultraviolet light. So our normal light is a halogen light or daylight, but ultraviolet light, I'm going to put it on and show you. There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
There you go. See how it is glowing? So it glows under ultraviolet light, UV light.
Yeah.
Now we'll shut the light and show you.
Yes,
So once you
please.
shut the light, this is how it looks. Now we'll switch it on. This is how it looks with the ultraviolet light. So this is a
Wow.
fluorescent mineral, ruby. Ruby has a property of fluorescence. This
Mhm.
is cavensite in stilbite. I'll come to a nicer specimen, which I'll show you later.
Okay.
Here, this is a specimen, a mineral known as silicon.
Okay.
So all the chips, computer chips, are made out of this mineral, this ore, silicon. So they mine silicon and then they process it, and all our computer chips, everything in your mobile, smartphones, everything, every electronic has this, which is
Sir,
silicon.
video has got,
Yes, I'm
yeah,
back. I'm
yeah,
back. I'm
yeah.
back. Yes. Next up, we have prehnite. This is a mineral called prehnite. It's from Mali in Africa.
Oh,
Here is another mineral. It's sort of poisonous. It has arsenic content here. It is known as bumblebee jasper. But the yellow color is due to the arsenic. Arsenic,
oh.
you know that it's a, in nature, it's a heavy element,
Mm-hmm.
and it is poisonous in nature when it comes in contact with water.
Okay.
Next up, we have a very interesting stone. This is garnet
Okay.
in quartz. So the black pieces that you see there are garnet in quartz.
So like Dalmatian dogs.
Yes, yes, yes. Next up, this is lapis lazuli. You must have heard about the name lapis, Lapis. Lapis, it's also a gemstone.
Okay. Where is it found?
It is found primarily in Afghanistan and Iran.
Okay.
Now here we have copper. This is how copper is found in nature. These are copper crystals. So out of this,
Okay.
they melt this and make copper. And
Then
after
there.
they melt it, it
Mm-hmm.
it looks something like this.
Oh, but
And
there
then this is
they
processed
have
further.
they have to do a lot of work for that, isn't it?
Yeah. They have to do a lot of work for that. That is true. This is one of the other attractions that we have. This is a dinosaur egg from China.
Oh,
So this is a fossilized dinosaur egg from China. Next up, we have turquoise. Look at the beautiful color of this stone,
wow.
turquoise. Also known as feroza. In the local language, it's called feroza, and the name
Is
is
it because of its color,
technical name is.
firoza color? Usually, ladies say about
Yes,
eyes. Okay.
exactly. And for somebody who is also connected to Bollywood, although it's not one of my favorite topics, Salman Khan wears a bracelet made out of this stone. If you have seen, Salman Khan is wearing this bracelet. So
Okay.
it's irrelevant to this topic, but I'll just for reference, I'll show it to the students so they might connect with it more.
Yeah.
Next up, we have a fossilized shell. This is a
Okay.
shell which has been fossilized. So like we say in Marathi, shank, you can
Uh-huh.
see that it has the shape of a shank. It's a fossilized shell. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
one of the main attractions that we have here is this mineral. This is from Pune. It's called cavensite, Cavansit, calcium vanadium silicate.
Okay.
That is the composition of this mineral, and it is found only in Pune in this form. Very own
Uh-huh.
Pune, and it is found in Wagoli, just on
Okay.
the outskirts of Pune. There are
Wow.
quarries there, so this mineral is found there. And it's a very beautiful and almost a rare kind of a mineral now. Now, this
Really?
is sulfur. You know, everybody that we use sulfur, it is used in matchboxes, in your matchsticks, in so many
Yes.
things. So this is sulfur. This is how sulfur looks in nature.
It has got
Next up, we have another. Is it okay now?
Yeah, this is okay.
Yeah. So we have another fossil. We have another shell which shows the mother of pearl property. This is also from the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh.
Now, this is something very, very interesting for all students. This is a piece of a dinosaur bone.
Wow.
This is an actual piece of a dinosaur bone. So, because it's a broken piece, we cannot identify which exact bone it belongs to. But due to the structure, we can identify that it is a part of a fossilized bone.
Is it only from carbon dating, or is there any other method to identify?
The first is physical identification, visual identification. Then with the weight, then the location where it was found. So all of these things add up, and then finally you can do a carbon dating.
Okay.
Because carbon dating is not normally available to regular people. You have to have very high equipments for that, as you are aware. So this is a fossil of a trilobite, Trilobite.
Okay.
This is again hundreds of millions of years old. One of the first creatures to be on this planet, trilobite.
Okay.
So the same thing that I showed you, this is how they are, when the fossil is found, this is how they are found. So there were millions of these creatures. They exist, millions of them existed, and all of them had a sudden death, and they died, and they were fossilized.
So that sudden death or all those things are due to climate change, and
yes, it could be that. It could be a landslide, or it could be undersea earthquake, or any kind of natural geological activity that occurred which led to their death at different parts, different times.
That climate change must have been affected to minerals and rocks also.
Yes, some of the minerals and rocks do face weathering due to climate change. So they sometimes they lose their luster. Sometimes some more minerals and chemicals are deposited. So this here is a collection of shark teeth. So there are different types of shark. These are fossilized shark teeth. And this particular one, for all the students who have seen Jurassic Park and who know, this is from the megalodon. If you have known about this particular creature called megalodon, so it was one of the largest creatures ever in this world. Of course, it was a aquatic creature, but this is it was a giant shark. So this is a megalodon tooth. And then again, this is another complete fossilized fish fossil. Here I'm going to zoom in so you can see the features of the fish. And it is found in limestone. So when you remove one layer of this limestone, which was once an ancient ocean bed, so you find so many creatures there. This was also found, this is from Utah in USA.
Okay. So this is actually very much fascinating. So can our students come there and visit you sometime? So that will be different experience they can get.
So ma'am, before I end the video and we go to the question answer session, this is the final thing I want to show everybody. So this is a meteorite. So this is not from this world. This is from out of this world, and this has come from space. It's an iron meteorite.
Okay.
So our place is one of the few places in India where you can come and hold and touch and feel a real meteorite that came from space. So even meteorites are classified, and they have named Sikote Alin. The name of this is Sikhote Alin, and it was found in Siberia, in Russia, and it fell in 1947. In the year 1947, it fell, and it fell in an area called the Tunguska forest. And due to its fall, it leveled up.
Sir, actually, there are one or two questions we can take now. So, shall we go ahead?
Yes.
Yes. So,
Yes, please.
one question is, how many species of shells are there?
How many species of shells are there? Well, it's a I'm not the correct authority, or I do not have knowledge of that topic,
Okay.
because it belongs to a different category of science. So I'm sorry, I cannot answer that question. That how many species of shells are there?
Okay. Then one more question is, how to differentiate geode and a rock?
Okay, so like I said, rock is a very loose term.
Mm-hmm.
Rock is a very loose term. So, a rock is like a general term. It's like looking at a field and just calling. No, let me give you a better example. Looking at a farmer's field and just calling plants. Wherein
Mm-hmm.
you have to know what plant it is. Looking at a garden and a garden of certain kinds of flowers and just calling it a garden. So rock is a very loose term. So what
Okay.
the correct question, I can rephrase the question for the student, is
Uh-huh.
that what is the difference between a crystal and a geode? So
Okay.
this is the correct question or rephrasing of that question. And
Okay.
like I showed you, that
Mm-hmm.
the geode is something that is round and it has the minerals inside,
Mm-hmm.
and a crystal specimen is something which is flat.
Okay.
And I'll quickly show you some things that we missed out. That
Mm-hmm.
these are butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
So these are not rocks or minerals, but these are natural butterflies. These also, when you come here for a site visit, the children and the students can enjoy looking at
Yes.
these different butterflies. They are
Mm-hmm.
all from South America,
Wow, so
and
beautiful.
all of them they are not from the endangered species. None of this is a rare
Mm-hmm.
butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
They are all normal species of butterfly. But just to see the, we also have a tarantula here. He's a friendly guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we have also a black scorpion. He's not so
Wow.
friendly.
I feel to come there at the moment itself.
Please, please. And the last highlight of the show, I'll show you for the students. So we have large geodes.
Okay.
We have large, this is citrine. This is another geode.
Uh, Beautiful, sir. I think that we should come there sometimes. There are so many
Please, please,
things.
everybody is welcome. Just make an appointment with us
Yes,
before you
definitely.
come.
For spectators, I will
We are
just
available
suggest
only
that
by
please,
appointment. Yes.
yeah, for spectators, I can just suggest you can write to us. We can arrange small trip once this we come over this pandemic little bit at least, and then we can go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Please. You are very welcome. Everybody is welcome to visit.
Yes, this is so beautiful. I would like to thank you, Sami sir. It was very nice, a
Yes.
very
Thank you
nice
so much.
collection, and thank you for answering all the questions which kids asked. If there are
Yeah.
more questions, we will write to you on their behalf. So thank you.
Please do.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Thank you. It was good to be a part of this show.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, and I would also like to add one last note, that this is a hobby which is started by my grandfather and
Oh,
then continued by my father, and now being continued by me. So I'm the third generation in this
wow.
hobby and business. And most of the collection that you see here belongs to my father. His name is MF Makki,
Yeah.
and that's most of this collection is his. So whenever you are here, you'll be glad to meet him, because he can share. He has a lot more knowledge than me on these topics, and he can be very helpful. And he's always helpful for students.
Yes. Thanks. Thank you
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.